Welcome back everyone to today's second video. This video is a very interesting one as we're doing your first full winter update slash forecast of the year, and it is the 10th of November 2025 and we are bringing you your first full winter forecast. We've got quite a few interesting things to show you in this video. We're going to try and keep it around 10 minutes so people don't have to take too much time out of the day to watch it. But there's some very interesting stuff that points towards a colder than average winter this year, especially the opening part of the winter. So we're going to be going through that right now. We're not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight into this. Let's go. So first of all, over the next few days and weeks, we are entering a colder spell, and there's going to be a big block of high pressure around Greenland after we come out of this higher than average spell of weather, much milder at the minute. We're going to come out of this mild spell and we look pretty cold for the rest of the run. We've got some going down to the -10 line, which is very cold for November indeed. But we have seen a bit of a wobble today. Some models going milder, as you can see, and the ECMWF has had a big flip, but this always happens with cold. Yesterday we were like 100% cold, today we're wobbling a bit, so we will see what happens. If we go further north to Glasgow, you can see that it looks much more colder, and there's even some snow in the forecast for Glasgow, as you can see. So it's a bit of a wobble today, we'll see what happens. That's somewhere in the Scottish Highlands, much more snow there. So we're going to go through the latest stratospheric development, because if we get a sudden stratospheric warming, which is a severe warming in the stratosphere, it increases the chances of northern blocking and therefore a colder winter. An SSW is this in the background right here, a big warming pushing over the North Pole, so we're looking for something a bit like that. Current situation in the stratosphere is this. We have a little warming just here, but except from that, the polar vortex is looking pretty healthy at the minute. As we go through this week and into next weekend, we can see a little warming starting to increase a little bit over Siberia, but nothing that severe. If we go into the extended range, that warming hangs around a bit, but doesn't really do much. We start to get a bigger warming forming by the end of the run. I know this doesn't look like much, but some ensembles have been bringing a much more severe and increased warming, so I'll try and find one for you here. So here's the control run from the GFS. Take a look at that. That looks like it's shaping up to be an SSW. This is ensemble number 1, once again shaping up like it's going to come off as an SSW. Big warming. Number 2 doesn't really do it. Number 3 looks like it's going to end up being an SSW. Number 4 doesn't do it. We're not going to go any further than this. Number 5 starts to do it, but it doesn't really get going that much. So right now it looks about a 50-50 if we are going to get a sudden stratospheric warming. So that's something to watch over the next couple of days and over the next week, as that will be a big factor in whether we get a colder winter. If we do get an SSW in a record-breaking early sector of the winter, it will increase the chances of a much colder winter as we go on. These are the latest 500 HPA heights from DCMWF. High pressure is yellow, low pressure is blue, if you didn't already know. This is for week 1 from the 10th to the 17th of November. The ECMWF is forecasting high pressure over Greenland and Iceland, and over the Arctic, in fact. Low pressure in the Atlantic and over Scandinavia. It's going to be a battleground between milder southwesterlies and colder northerlies. Very, very interesting indeed. Week 2, which is the 17th to 24th of November, looks like this. We look much colder with this. High pressure blocking over Greenland, Iceland, and we've got an extremely strong trough over Europe. We're dragging the wind in from a very cold northerly direction. Now that looks very, very interesting, if I do say myself. Updates from yesterday, very cold from that one. 24th of November to 1st of December, big blockings around the Arctic once again. We're just on the wrong side of it though. Scotland will be cold, southern areas will probably be mild from the west, a bit of a battleground going on to start December. The 1st of December to the 8th of December improves. We've got high pressures sitting a bit closer to us over Greenland and Iceland, low pressure trough through here, and we're going to be bringing the winds in from the east, very cold and wintry with that, especially as we go into December. Week 5 is the 8th of December to 15th of December. Once again, maybe a little bit milder for the south. Once again, them easterly signals, a bit like Beast from the East, like. But for most of the country, we should be cold and wintry from the east once again. And finally, week 6, 15th to 22nd of December, looks even better than the rest of them. High pressure moves towards Scandinavia a bit. Low pressure trough to the south. Jet streams gone. Winds in from the northeast. And very, very cold. What a chart. What a set of charts from the ECMWF today. Very, very interesting. I'm going to take a quick look at the 10 HPA temperatures over the North Pole to show you if there's any signs of an SSW from the ECMWF model. We'll go for the North Pole, like that. Week 1 looks like this. Once again, there's a little bit of a warming actually there over the other side of the pole, so maybe wrapping round a bit. Week 2 looks like this. Warming starts to push in towards the pole. The pole is actually highlighted on here. It is that area just there. So starting to penetrate in towards the pole, the warming by week 2. Week 3, that's quite interesting. The warming seems to be properly going into the pole, possibly an SSW, even though we would like to see some deeper temperatures in there. Week 4, we still see that warming around before it starts to fade off by the end, but very, very interesting once again. We'll have a look at the zonal winds based on that if I can get it up. There you go. So for an SSW, or to be classified as an SSW, we do need the zonal winds to go below that 0 mark. We're currently above average. The average line is here, but we're going to have a big deceleration over the next couple of weeks. Very, very interesting indeed. We've actually had an increase in the chance of an SSW today. Take a look at this. We're averaging around the 4 mark. That's not a very good drawing. That's 5. So yeah, we're averaging around the 4 meters a second zonal wind. So that's pretty interesting, if I do say myself. A lot of ensembles now going for an SSW, so that's something to watch over the next couple of weeks, and it could prove to change our winter up a lot. My winter forecast is coming, by the way, in a minute, once I've gone through this last bit of data I want to show you. This, have I pulled up? Yeah, I've pulled it up. Right, okay, so we've got 3 more pieces of data to show you, then my winter forecast, winter forecast part 1, update 1, will be announced. So, this is the North Atlantic Oscillation. When this is in a positive phase up here, signifies we've got low pressure around Greenland and Iceland in the North Atlantic. When this goes into a negative phase like this, signifies there's a blocking area high pressure in the North Atlantic and around Greenland, which favours us colder conditions. We've just come out of this positive phase and are going negative for the rest of the run. So very, very interesting there. Signifies a colder signal. Once again, the AO, it's the same thing, but over the Arctic, we are once again going into a very negative phase as well. So an increased signal for colder conditions over the next couple of weeks, at least. I mean, this is keeping it negative into the start of December, but that is far off, so we will have to see what happens with that. Now, this is the most interesting part of the video. Another possible sign for a cold winter. So we've got a La Nina, as you can see, with this colder than average area in the Pacific, but we're going to ignore all of this. We're going to ignore all of that, and we're going to ignore all of that. Just this northern portion here. Ignore all of this, ignore all of that. This area in the North Atlantic, I'm going to zoom in on it so you can see better. There you go. So this area in the North Atlantic, we have been we've been pretty warm throughout the autumn and the summer. In May this year, we look for a tripole situation, which is cooler average temperatures around here and warmer through there, and warmer up there. We have had no sign of that this year until about a week ago, when we have a big switch towards a tripole situation. Huge warmings, huge coolings taking place around here, and we actually bring cooling areas through there, warmer there, and warmer to the south of Greenland and Iceland. And it's basically a tripole. A big tripole signal that signifies we are more likely to get a negative NAO. People forecasted a positive one, but we have now switched to a negative if this tripole does stay firm until the start of December. So a negative NAO signal, which increases our chance further of a colder than average winter, and a much colder winter than we have seen in recent years. Nothing crazy cold since around, what was the last one? 2018, when we had the beast from the east. 2021 was cold for Scotland, but not for the rest of the country. So yeah, very increased chance of cold this winter, I suspect. We'll have a look at the 7-day change for you to show you why this is happening. This is why. Take a look. This is the Atlantic once again. This is the Atlantic area we're looking at. There you go. Not that bit down there. What's going on? So focus on this area. Huge cooling areas through here at the minute. Warmer to the south of Greenland, warmer down here, and a bit of warming on the coast. It's a tripole situation basically, and we are set up just like a tripole. So that's very, very interesting, and it's brilliant to see if you are a fan of cold weather. So we could end up getting a colder than average winter this year. Right, the moment you've all been waiting for. My winter forecast. So I am coming up with this from the charts I have just shown you, and my forecast is, so let's start with November. I think this month, we're going to see a wobble over the next 2 days in the charts, whether we're going to actually go cold or not. But I think eventually we will get that block around Greenland properly forming, and I think we will get a sustained period of cold for around 4 or 5 days at least. Then I think for the rest of the month it'll be on and off. The Atlantic might break back through, but I think it'll be a good old battle between the Atlantic and a blocking area high pressure in the North Atlantic. So I think it'll be a pretty interesting watch over the rest of this month. December, now I think December could shape up to be a very interesting month. I think it could be the coldest for a while, maybe since 2010. I'm not going to say anything because I'll get in trouble if I get it wrong, but I think it could end up being a very cold winter this year compared to what we've been used to. December, I think it could end up having a pretty cold start with this negative NAO, AO, and also the chance of an SSW. If the SSW comes off, it basically doubles the chance of cold. I think it's very interesting. By the end of December, I think we could see some milder, more settled weather coming back from the Atlantic. And I think January is going to be one of them months where we get cold snaps in Atlantic, more of our sort of typical setup for the winter. But I think the first half of January, once again, if we do get the SSW, could still be quite colder than usual. Then I think as we go into late January and February, we will have a milder and stormier spell, which will make up for the colder start to the winter. Once again, I might get this wrong. This is only the first update. We'll have another one of these later on in November and at the start of December as well, to verify my thoughts and to see if there's anything else new that looks like it'll come off. Anyway, that's me done. Stay tuned for the videos. Hope you enjoyed. Drop a like and subscribe. They are my winter thoughts. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.